With all of these billionaires, with like the exception of a few, but especially Elon Musk, like, you buy Twitter to destroy it.
The good thing about Elon buying Twitter is that I will finally leave and stop being a complete menace to society on here. So it's a win-win for all of you, really.
For $40 billion, right? $40 billion. Elon Musk, imagine if he donated that money to UNICEF.
I know. It's been a hellscape for a minute.
I mean, I was always on the receiving end of
Same.
trolls, right?
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it doesn't feel any different.
Remember when celebrities used to be untouchable? Well, Alyssa Milano just proved those days are long gone. She thought she was taking a stand. Instead, she's become a cautionary tale. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. From Tesla to Volkswagen, from millionaire to GoFundMe beggar, Milano's giving us front row seats to a PR disaster. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, but the car is her reputation. Remember when celebs could do no wrong? Yeah, those days are over. Alyssa Milano just proved that with her Tesla tantrum. She thought she was making a bold statement, but instead she just showed how out of touch she is. So here's what went down. Milano tweets that she's getting rid of her Tesla to protest Elon Musk. She's all proud of herself, thinking she's sticking it to the man, but people aren't buying it.
I decided, like, I can't live in that hypocrisy of driving that car when, you know, that happened.
They start digging into her new car choice, and that's when things get interesting. Milano's tweet gets absolutely destroyed. We're talking ratioed so hard it's embarrassing. People are calling her out left and right, and the numbers don't lie. It's like watching a train wreck in real time, but the train is Milano's credibility. But wait, it gets better. Turns out her moral car choice has some seriously sketchy history. Oops, Milano swapped her Tesla for a Volkswagen, thinking she's made some grand ethical stand. But here's the kicker. A Volkswagen was literally founded by Nazis. You can't make this stuff up. People start asking if Milano even knows what she's protesting. Does she understand the irony? Does she realize she's jumped out of the frying pan and into the fire? It's like she's trying to win gold in the Hypocrisy Olympics. The internet has a field day with this. Memes start flying, jokes are cracked, and Milano becomes the punchline. But here's the real kicker. Instead of admitting she messed up, Milano doubles down. Because of course she does. She tries to justify her choice, but it's like watching someone dig their own grave with a spoon. You'd think after all this, Milano would take a step back and think, maybe I should do some research before I tweet. But nope, she's committed to the bit.
I mean, y'all can hate me. You all can harass me. You all can be hurtful to me.
It's almost admirable how she sticks to her guns, even when those guns are shooting blanks. This whole fiasco just shows how disconnected some celebs are from reality. They think they're making these grand gestures, but they're just showing how little they actually know.
With all of these billionaires, with like the exception of a few, but especially Elon Musk, like, you buy Twitter to destroy it.
Milano wanted to make a statement against hate, but ended up supporting a company with a Nazi past. Talk about missing the mark. You'd think after the Tesla debacle, Milano would lay low, but nope, she decided to double down on the controversy. What could possibly go wrong when a millionaire asks regular folks for money? Spoiler alert, everything. So here's the deal. Milano starts a GoFundMe for her son's baseball team. Yeah, you heard that right. A woman worth about $10 million is asking people to cough up cash for her kid's sports trip. Talk about tone deaf. People start questioning why a millionaire needs donations. I mean, come on. Milano's net worth is enough to fund a whole league of little league teams. But nah, she'd rather ask fans who are struggling to buy groceries to chip in. The internet wasn't having it. One user tweeted, Alyssa Milano is worth $10 million asking the plebs to pay for her kid's vacation. You can't make this up. Ouch. Another one hit the nail on the head. Why is she asking for money from people who can barely buy groceries? Milano's response? She turned off comments on her GoFundMe post. Real classy move there, Alyssa. Nothing says, I'm listening to your concerns, like silencing criticism.
That I have women from all over the world who see me and come over to me.
But wait, it gets better. Just days after begging for money online, Milano's spotted cruising around in a $200,000 Porsche. And get this, it's got a custom paint job worth $144,000. That's more than most people make in a year. The internet exploded. Memes and mockery flew faster than Milano's Porsche. One user nailed it. You're riding around in a $200,000 car, but can't fund your son's trip seriously, Alyssa.
Just days after she was slammed on social media for sharing a GoFundMe asking for $10,000 in donations for her son's baseball team's trip.
Milano tried to justify her actions by retweeting old crowdfunding campaigns. Like, see, everyone does it. Nice try, Alyssa. But people aren't buying it. Even some of her Hollywood pals are backing away slowly. It's like Milano's on a mission to win the most out-of-touch celebrity award. First the Tesla Volkswagen swap, now this GoFundMe disaster.
The good thing about Elon buying Twitter is that I will finally leave and stop being a complete menace to society on here. So it's a win-win for all of you, really.
She's not just digging herself into a hole anymore. She's tunneling to China. Think Milano's the only Hollywood hotshot who can't read the room. Oh boy, you're in for a treat. Remember when lockdowns hit and celebs thought singing from their mansions would save the world? Spoiler alert, it didn't, but it sure showed us something about Tinseltown's bubble. Let's rewind to 2020. While regular folks were losing jobs and struggling to pay rent, celebrities were trying to be relatable from their multi-million-dollar homes. It was like watching aliens try to understand human behavior, and boy, did it backfire. Remember Gal Gadot's Imagine video? Yeah, that happened. She got a bunch of celebs to sing John Lennon's song, thinking it would lift our spirits. Instead, it just lifted our eyebrows. People were like, really? You're in a mansion and you're singing about no possessions? Talk about tone deaf. But wait, it gets better. Ellen DeGeneres compared quarantine to being in jail. From her massive estate, you know, the one with the pool, home gym, and probably a private chef. Yeah, Ellen, that's exactly like jail. People weren't having it. They called her out faster than you can say privileged. These celebs seem to live in a different reality.
For $40 billion, right? $40 billion. Elon Musk, imagine if he donated that money to UNICEF.
I know.
It's like they're on another planet where money grows on trees and everyone has a personal assistant, and people are noticing the gap between Hollywood and regular folks. It's not just growing, it's turning into a freaking canyon. Milano's activism is backfiring big time. She's not just alienating fans, but even fellow celebs are backing away. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, but the car is Milano's reputation, and the road is paved with good intentions. This whole circus just shows how out of touch Hollywood can be.
I have to tell you, first of all, I wish I was there so I could hug you. No. But second of all,
They think they're helping, but they're just showing how little they understand about real life. It's like they're playing relatable on expert mode, but they forgot to read the instructions. The worst part? This gap between celebs and regular folks isn't closing anytime soon. If anything, it's getting wider. Every tone-deaf tweet, every mansion tour, every "we're all in this together" from a private island just proves it. Hollywood's living in La La Land, alright, and the rest of us? We're just watching the show, shaking our heads. You know that saying about the road to hell being paved with good intentions? Well, Alyssa Milano's trying to repave it with her woke tweets. She's out here acting like she's training for the woke Olympics, but let me tell you, she's headed for a cliff. Milano's been all over social media, trying to be the champion of every cause under the sun. But here's the thing, it keeps blowing up in her face. Remember when she thought a sex strike would solve America's abortion debate? Yeah, that went over about as well as a lead balloon.
It's been a hellscape for a minute.
I mean, I was always on the receiving end of
Same.
trolls, right?
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it doesn't feel any different.
People were like, Alyssa, you know this isn't helping, right? Even folks who agreed with her were scratching their heads. It's like she's playing activist bingo, just ticking off boxes without thinking things through. And don't even get me started on the blackface fiasco. Milano tried to defend herself against accusations by saying it was a parody of Jersey Shore and the Snooki character. Come on, Alyssa, that's not the flex you think it is. You can't just slap on some bronzer and call it a day. It's like Milano's got a Google alert for every trending hashtag. The second something pops up, boom, she's tweeting about it. But here's the kicker. Half the time, it seems like she doesn't even understand what she's supporting. It's all knee-jerk reactions and no substance. The sad part? All this half-baked activism is actually hurting the causes she claims to care about. People are so busy rolling their eyes at Milano's latest tweet that they're not focusing on the real issues. It's like she's become the boy who cried woke.
you know, in the 90s, everything was hyper-sexualized. But also, for me, those were the roles I was off.
You'd think after a while, Milano would take a step back and think, maybe I should do some research before I hit send. But nope, she's out here tweeting faster than you can say problematic. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, but the car is her credibility and the road is paved with retweets. Look, being woke isn't about who can yell the loudest on Twitter. It's about understanding issues and making real change. But Milano, she's treating it like it's a popularity contest. And let me tell you, the only thing she's winning is the award for most likely to put her foot in her mouth. So, Alyssa Milano's gone and turned herself into a walking, talking PSA on how not to do celebrity activism. Talk about a plot twist, right? She wanted to be a hero, but ended up as the cautionary tale. Maybe it's time for these Hollywood types to take a step back and actually listen before they start preaching. You know, read the room a bit, because right now, they're about as in touch with reality as a flat earther at NASA. Here's the thing, just because a celeb's got a loud voice doesn't mean they've got the right answers. Next time you see some A-lister on their soapbox, remember Milano's epic fails. It's not about who can shout the loudest or tweet the fastest. Real change? That takes more than a hashtag and a designer protest sign.